It's November 30th, 2018. There's a big update in the 1MDB case, this multi-billion dollar money laundering scandal. I've been following this on this channel for some time. There's connections back to Hollywood and the Obama White House. Joe Lowe is getting more accusations in this case, this time accused of funneling money to the U.S. in order to influence or bribe the Department of Justice through one official in order to influence the way that they handle this money laundering case. The DOJ has been looking into this. He tried to bribe officials to influence the case. Jolo, he also has several links back to Hollywood. Here's Jolo with Leo DiCaprio. I've talked about a couple of these articles on this channel before. Leo DiCaprio actually had to back out of a Hillary Clinton fundraiser based partly off of gifts that were given to him with stolen money from Jolo, from Malaysian taxpayers, part of these billions of dollars of stolen money. There's also links back to a specific White House visit through another businessman that is a different individual than who they are naming here. This name from the DOJ, from what I can tell, has only been publicly released in one article, just a one-off article on the 20th was the only mention, the only previous mention of this DOJ official. But here's what they're saying today. He is set to plead guilty. This person that Jolo tried to bribe. This article says the Malaysian financier accused of masterminding a scheme to siphon billions of dollars from a state wealth fund allegedly funneled money into the U.S. in an attempt to influence a Justice Department investigation, prosecutors said. Jolo had help in the opening of multiple accounts at U.S. financial institutions from a now former Justice Department employee who wasn't connected to the investigation of Lowe. The U.S. is saying today the employee named George Higginbottom pleaded guilty Friday to conspiring to lie to banks about the source and purpose of funds. He is cooperating with prosecutors, they say. So there is a wider investigation that is going on. There have been a couple other recent charges as well. The U.S. claims that a small group of Malaysians led by Zhou Lo diverted money from One Malaysia Development Fund into personal accounts. They moved the money from this public fund into personal accounts, disguised to look like legitimate businesses, and kicked back some of the funds to officials. Some of the money is alleged to have ended up with the former Malaysian prime minister. He's also facing a number of charges, and recently 2 Goldman Sachs bankers were charged with conspiracy. That was just earlier this month. Also, Lowe, who is still on the run. Some sources saying that he's hiding out in China. That's Leo DiCaprio's friend Jolo, who bribed this U.S. official, who they are saying is set to plead guilty. The official details of the allegations, they say, are spelled out in a U.S. lawsuit filed Friday, seeking to seize $74 million from Higginbottom's law firm. So $74 million just from this DOJ official's law firm alone, and along with 2 other entities earlier this month. Prosecutors accused Higginbottom of conspiring with 2 individuals to make false statements to banks, 2 other individuals as well. Higginbottom worked at the Justice Department in what the complaint said was a non-lawyer position, and they give more details. And again, the timeline, some of what Higginbottom was doing with, I guess, these bribes extends even into last year, but he was hired under the Obama administration. This one from today, this update from today, just closes off saying in the new filing, the U.S. said that Lowe funneled cash through entertainer and businessman. This musician Pross is involved as well. He passed money on to a longtime political fundraiser, identified as individual 2 in the court filing, and his associate and investment firm owner identified as individual 1. So on just a couple of days ago, 10 days ago, November 20th, they had one article. This is really the only other mention of this official, the same DOJ official who they had just said the feds had charged him with alleged ties to conspiracy involving millions of dollars. The update today is that he is set to plead guilty today. But they gave some more details on the timeline, again, of when he was hired. They say, and it's just some more on the charges as well. They say federal authorities have accused a former Justice Department official and two others of taking part in the conspiracy tied to tens of millions of dollars in foreign money. However, details of the case remain secret. So this was 10 days ago. They weren't covering up. I don't think they directly name 1MDB. They're not saying that it's connected there, or they weren't 10 days ago, but now we know that this is what they're talking about. But they say this conspiracy involving tens of millions of dollars in foreign money. However, details of the case remain secret. Justice Department officials are so far declining to discuss anything further about it. Attempts by ABC News to ascertain the nature of the conspiracy or the identities of the two others allegedly involved in it were unsuccessful, they say. Unsuccessful. But more details about the case are expected to emerge in the coming days. We just have had some pretty major updates today. They say the Justice Department's Public Integrity Section has been investigating the matter, and on Monday, federal prosecutors quietly filed a criminal information against the former official, a statement of formal charges that bypasses, this statement bypasses a grand jury and often indicates the defendant has decided to cooperate with investigators. The criminal information charges George Higginbottom, so he's named here, with one felony count of conspiracy to make false statements to a bank. Reached by phone Tuesday, a lawyer for Higginbottom has declined to comment. Prosecutors allege that over several months last year, Higginbottom, along with two unidentified co-conspirators, plotted to knowingly mislead a specific financial institution about tens of millions of dollars in funds that originated with foreign accounts, while a person identified in court documents only as co-conspirator B held that money overseas. Another person identified as co-conspirator A opened accounts inside the United States, according to prosecutors. They say then on November 6th, 2017, at the request of co-conspirator A, Higginbottom, while still working at the Justice Department, he was still at the DOJ, this official transmitted an email to the targeted financial institution that falsely represented the source and purpose of the tens of millions of dollars from overseas, according to prosecutors. Prosecutors say Higginbottom had lied in the email. He lied in the email for the purpose of influencing the bank's due diligence in connection with applications for recently opened accounts. This ABC article, they have sourced from his LinkedIn page. They're saying that he began working as a senior congressional liaison and oversight counsel back in July of 2016. So under the Obama administration, he was put into that role and he left the Justice Department. He only left the Justice Department 3 months ago. Justice Department website indicates he worked for the department's Office of Justice Programs, which provides grants and training to law enforcement across the country. And they also say that he, for some time before then, also served as, before joining the Justice Department, Higginbottom had worked at the U.S. Agency for International Development as well. So pretty interesting development. I've been following what has been going on with 1MDB and, of course, a lot of other people involved, other connections back to Hollywood as well. Jolo is connected to different people in the modeling industry as well. He'd given them stolen gifts. He'd recently had to return a yacht that was worth, I believe, about $230 million. This super luxury yacht that was bought with this stolen money as well. So I'll continue to follow this. Interesting that we do have someone from the DOJ that is cooperating with the investigation, and we could see things continue. These Goldman bankers recently charged as well. Not sure how much further this will go. I'll continue to follow it here. Let me know what you think in a comment. I do have a link to my Patreon account in the video description, patreon.com/realityreader. Thanks everybody that has donated over there. A couple dollars makes a huge difference. Patreon.com/realityreader. So I have a PayPal link in the description and a link to the original article if you want to take a look. I'll follow up soon. Thank you.